Hey everybody, it's James here with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. This is your weekly comic book pickups video. Every week, I pick up my boys at least one comic each. Oftentimes it's more than one. I pick up my daughter Gracie one as well, even though she can't read yet. And as always, I pick up my comics at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio. Zip code 45014. If you're in the area, into the comics, check out the shop. My voice is doing better this week. I'm finally on the tail end of this cold. I've got a little bit of a cough still, but I'm able to talk without pain. So hopefully reviews will start back up and you'll be able to understand what I'm saying about these comics this time. Okay, Marvel's Greatest Creators. I talked about this last week. These are like the True Believers, but they're not called True Believers on the actual comics anymore. They're still called True Believers on the invoice. They're still $1 reprints of Marvel Comics, but they're called Marvel's Greatest Creators, #1 each time. This time around, it's for Doug Moench and Larry Hama, however you want to say his name. I think it's Larry Hama. And this is a reprint of an Iron Fist issue, well, an Iron Fist story from Marvel Premiere #19. And this features Doug Moench doing the writing and Larry Hama doing the art. You often think of Larry Hama just as a writer. He had that historic run on G.I. Joe, he's written Wolverine, Bucky O'Hare, lots of good stuff. But he's also an artist, and he's a very good artist, in my opinion. He's got a very... He and Frank Miller share a similar style. And this is a story about, I guess, Colleen Wing. I've never read this story, so this will be a new one for me. But I do love Larry Hama art. Doug Moench is a good writer. I don't know how this ties into anything currently going on. Usually the True Believers reprints do. Maybe the Netflix show, but that's not really happening right now. So, yeah. I don't know. Check it out. It's $1. Not gonna go wrong. The next one is Roy Thomas and Frank Robbins with an Invaders reprint. Another frankly fabulous first issue. Battle Over Britain. It costs $1. Sorry if my air's making a lot of noise, but it's very hot here in Cincy. This reprints Invaders #1. And as the front cover already told you, it's by Roy Thomas doing the writing and Frank Robbins doing the art. This, I guess, would be somewhat a tie into Avengers Endgame because of Cap. There's also a current Invaders series going on, so maybe that's what it's tying into. Or it could be now they're choosing their top old creators, and that's why they're doing these reprints. They're not going to tie in anything going on currently. I like Invaders. Cool team. This is fun. I've also got the current Invaders book in the stack here somewhere. So, there we go. This guy over here. This book is for Gracie. This came out today. Disney Frozen Reunion Road Part 3. This is $3.99 by Dark Horse Comics and the creative team of Joe Carmagna doing the story and script, and Eduardo Francisco and Eduard Petrovich doing the art, apparently. I don't know if we've gotten to all 3 issues of this, but Gracie doesn't care about jumping around. And this was a new book this week. It made it easy to just grab. I do love this art. This is really nice. It's not dead on the movie, since the movie was CGI. I really like this. I like that kind of sketchy look to the art. She likes Frozen. She'll dig this. Yeah, this morning she said, I said, hey, I'm going to get you a new comic today. And she said, oh, can I pick the comic? Or if I can't, and if you can't find the comic I want, you can pick it? And I said, sure. And she sat there for a second. She's like, the only comic I can think of that I would want would be a comic with me in it. And I said, well, they're not going to have that, so I guess I'm just going to pick for you. So she's getting Frozen. This is for Blaze. Aliens Resistance issue 4 from Dark Horse Comics, $3.99. And this is by Brian Wood, Robert Carey, and Dan Jackson. This is the story that brings together the character from the Alien, I think, Defiance comic, and Amanda Ripley from the Aliens Isolation game. And so far, Blaze has enjoyed this comic. He pretty much gets anything Aliens, but this one was exciting because of that crossover aspect between those two characters. Art's cool. I mean, it's not the best art in the world. I don't see a whole lot of Aliens. There's some. Yeah. This next book is for Keaton. He didn't have a current book this week, and he's been on an X-Men kick. Really likes Gambit. So I went back and grabbed this old Gambit issue 1 from the original Gambit miniseries. It retailed back then at $2.50 because of that crazy foily cover. This was by Howard Mackey doing the story and Lee Weeks doing the art. I love Lee Weeks' art. Klaus Janson doing the inks, which Klaus Janson is an inker that you can, it's one of those inkers where you can definitely tell he's on a book. His style bleeds into the art. Not that that's a bad thing, but you can definitely see his influence on those original pencils. I liked this story. It dealt with Gambit and the Thieves Guild, having to go back to New Orleans, a wife that he had. I believe it was his wife. Maybe it's just his love. I can't remember. His brother or something. I can't remember. I might be confusing the Thieves Guild episode of the X-Men cartoon, which I think some of that was based on this miniseries. But this was a really fun miniseries. Gambit was such a cool character back then. This book is, for me, Invaders #5. I really enjoyed this. I'm all caught up on reading it. It's by Chip Zdarsky with art by Carlos Magno and Butch Geist. Butch Geist doing flashback art for the most part through the other issues, and Carlos Magno doing the current storyline, where it flashes back and forth between the time where they were in the war all together as the invaders, to current day, and Namor's plan to kind of wipe out the human race, finding out that Namor got his memory back sort of at one point through his relationship with Charles Xavier, which has never been told before, and his relationship with his family. So, yeah, it's Cap and Bucky and the original Human Torch trying to take down Namor and his plan to destroy the human race. Pretty good book. Pretty good book. And last is Symbiote Spider-Man issue 2 by Peter David and Greg Land. I haven't read the first issue yet. I meant to do it, and I haven't got quite caught up yet. I caught up on, I think, Marvel Comics Presents, Invaders, X-Men, and another book I was caught up on. But next up was reading the Symbiote Spider-Man, and I just didn't get a chance before this one came out. So that's why I'm giving the second issue a chance. I like Peter David's writing sometimes. Sometimes the comic relief stuff gets to be a little much. I was reading his Scarlet Spider run for quite a while, until that book, I think, ended. And I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a good, fun book. This art's really nice. Yeah, so it's good. Hopefully the first issue was good and the second issue is good, and I'll keep buying it. We'll see. And that is it this week. It's not a heavy week for books, but some nice picks, and I'm always happy to see these dollar reprints things. There's also some Star Wars ones going on, but I don't buy the Star Wars ones. The boys aren't that interested in it right now. As always, leave a comment down below if you have a book you want us to check out. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, notify, all that jazz. And see you guys next week. All right, bye.